we then?
I like that screen. Do you like it?
Yeah, is that, can you?
Check. Yeah, it looks great. As long as you're comfortable, you can see everything. Look at that. Technology. What will they think of next? Starting with Hinen Motov?
Yeah.
Copy that. Let me know when you're set.
We're good, go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Great to see so many of you back this week, and also great to see some new faces that I didn't get a chance to meet. I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody, but in the meantime, let's join together. And Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achi Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
How good it
How good it
is
is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum.
How truly good and pleasant it is that we have the opportunity to be together as we are letting 6 days of work come to an end to enjoy this day of Shabbat, this day of rest and reflection and renewal together. Just a little bit of housekeeping as we prepare for this evening of Shabbat. One is, as opposed to last week, can all of you hear me? I did test this earlier. Can you hear me on stream?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeremy. And number one. Number two, we know there's still only one screen. The other screen will be here next week. But if you're more on this side and you can't see the screen, we did put out a page that has the extra readings that was at the end. And so there should be a bunch of, I put a lot of them on this copy, kind of on this row. So if there are copies of it, so if you find it, that is wonderful. And if you can pass some of the extra copies towards that end, that is wonderful. Or if some of you on this side would like to see the words and not on the screen, we can share them on this side as well. It is truly wonderful to enjoy this time of Shabbat together. So what I would like you to do is take a moment to close your eyes, to let 6 days of work come to an end, and just settle into this place, to open up your ears, to think about this week, to think about the moments of blessing and the moments of challenge, the moments of joy and the moments of solutions where you have solved a problem or connected with someone who was able to help you, to care for someone or to be cared for by someone. I ask you to take just a moment to let these 6 days of work of Malacha come to an end and settle in so we can enjoy this day of Shabbat together. As we are together on Shabbat, we welcome Shabbat by singing Lecha Dodi, but it is on page 138 of the Sidurim. And we'll be, I think, singing the verses that are customary here. And we offer these words to welcome Shabbat as a bride to this place, to welcome Shabbat into our lives.
Now, I know you guys know this one, little jazzy version. Lecha lecha dodi, livak livakala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, livak livakala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah. La liram lecha dodi, livak livakala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat lecha lecha dodi, livak livakala. P'nei Shabbat nemitala, Shamor v'zachor b'dur echad, Yishma'anu el ha'mayuchad Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem u'v'iftoret v'chita, la 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 la, L'cha l'cha dodi, livak l'akala, P'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah, L'cha l'cha dodi, livak l'akala, P'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah. Hitori, ki v'oreh, kumiori, huri, shir daberei, kevod Adonai alari nuah, lecha lecha dodi, livak kala, p'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah, lecha lecha dodi, livak kala, p'nei Shabbat v'nivukah.
And so we rise to face the door to welcome the Sabbath bride.
Oiv shalom, hateret pala, tam b'simcha, u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha lecha dodi, livak l'akala, p'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, livak l'akala, p'nei Shabbat v'kabbalah.
And as we, that was a new, please feel free to do the wave, to do the clap, to do the dance. We are actually commanded to oneg Shabbat, to enjoy Shabbat. So please, feel free, enjoy, and as we bring our full body and spirit to this place. And as we prepare to welcome Shabbat, I will just point out one, now I'll point it out again. I do have us stand in a little bit of a different place than you might be used to. I'm asking you to give it a try. It really does work. So once we get to that part of the service, you'll stand for the Reader's Kaddish, you'll stand through the Baruch Hu, and then you'll be seated. And it is okay in Jewish law and beyond to be seated through the Shema. You will see, it will work. But first, we welcome Shabbat with the lighting of our candles as we welcome the Giglio's family forward to light our Shabbat lights.
Let us light the way to you, and let us say, Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say, Amen.
As we light our Shabbat candles, we celebrate our journey, our quest, and moments of peace. May the light of our people shine. May the light of Shabbat cast its warmth in our homes. May these candles burn with respect for all who push beyond the bonds of ignorance, for all who seek justice, for all who build community. May these candles burn with the memory of all who came before us. May we draw on the many ways our people have given voice to their ideas and values. Put that down. May we add our own insight to their glow.
Light the candles. Use the candle in the center.
I swear I'm very honest.
Make sure they're good. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehalikneh shel Shabbat.
Praised are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us through mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Together we say,
Amen.
and as you all have brought light to us, may you have that light that is with you on your journeys in this week to come. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. And as we have brought light into this night of Shabbat, I lift up this cup for Kiddush. I lift up this cup of Kiddush, and we acknowledge the sweetness and the holiness of this time of Shabbat together. Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadosho v'yava uvratzon hinkiltanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikrae kodesh, zekel etzihat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'chata v'yotanu kitashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kadshcha v'yava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen.
And now we take a moment for our Shabbat hug. This is going to be a moment when we offer a hug and kiss to our loved ones who are with us and a greeting to all of those around us. This is one of those incredible moments to share blessings. And so not only to the people you know, but especially to the people who you might not know, I have had 2 weeks of getting to meet a lot of new friends. Can I just tell you, the number of smiles, the number of greetings, the number of times that people have been gracious enough to introduce and reintroduce themselves
Yup.
is really appreciated. I remember some of it most of the time. And that is what makes a community special. It makes it really incredible when we not just take the time to learn each other's names, but be gracious enough to take the time to teach each other our names. And so we're going to take a moment for our Shabbat hug so that we can give a hug and kiss to our loved ones and a blessing to our loved ones who are with us, but also take just a moment to really look around and greet all of the people around you. We take a moment for this Shabbat hug. If your mom hugged my wife, that makes sense.
I hope. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la
As we welcome each other, as we greet Shabbat, we now either stand physically or even if you can just lift your spirits, and we enter our formal worship with these words of Reader's Kaddish. So please rise either in body or lift your, even if you cannot stand, just lift your spirits and join us as we offer these words of praise. They are on page 144 of the big book and page 26 of the little book, and the words are right here for us as well.
Yitgadal v'yikdash Shomei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala ba'agala uv'yizman kariv v'imru
Amen.
Yehesh me'ra ben mevorah le'olam u'olam me'omaya
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitnoman v'yitnaseh v'yithadal v'yithaleh v'yithalal Shamei dekudesha
Brechu.
Le'am ben chol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yoma v'imru
Amen.
Lai Ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, et Adonai, HaMevorach. Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la.
And we read responsively. I'll read the white print, and I'll have the congregation respond with the yellow. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due.
Praise be now and forever.
Praise be Adonai, to whom our praise is due, now and forever. As we are seated, and we are going to stay seated until the tefillah. And from our projection, and again, this is also on that handout page, prayer is not purely an act. All things pray. All things pour forth their souls. Their heavens pray. The earth prays. Every creature, every living thing. In all life there is longing. Creation is itself but a longing, a kind of prayer to the Almighty. We read together. What are the clouds? The rising and the setting of the sun, the soft radiance of the moon, and the gentleness of the night. What are the flashes of the human mind and the storms of the human heart? They are all prayers, the wordless outpouring of boundless longing for God. We add our prayers into the spirit of all creation. We feel God's light and reflect it back into our world. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And from the bottom of page 151 or page 33, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, symbol and story, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. And from 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher Anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha
v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, u'shachbecha uvkumecha, u'shartam liot al yadecha, v'hayu totafot bein einecha, u'tavtam al mizot beitecha, u'visharecha, leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yetem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim li'yot lachem Elohim. Ani
Adonai
Elohechem.
And from the page 36 together. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
And from our projection from the page, all this we hold true and trustworthy, our experience in this world. Our lives are difficult and we are pursued by our ideals and by our imperfections. We must choose between life and death, between slavery and freedom. Together, from age to age, the tale has been told, how Moses and Miriam led us forth from Egypt. The deed of liberation is answered with joyous song, a moment of celebration that lingers and uplifts us in the midst of our days. We remember our past and pull this energy of redemption into our lives as we sing along with our ancestors by the shores of the sea.
This may be a new Micha Mocha for some people, but maybe not. And oddly enough, it's by the composer Richard Silverman. No relation. Micha Mocha v'alim Adonai, Micha Mocha v'alim Adonai, Micha Mocha v'alim Adonai, Micha Mocha nadar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, oh sefele, Norah tehilot, oh sefele. Yeah, don't be shy. Malechutecha ranu v'necha, lokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Zeli, zeli, anu v'amru, Adonai imdo leolam va'ed. Micha mocha v'alim Adonai, Micha mocha nadar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, oh sefele, Norah tehilot, oh sefele. V'ne'emar, Tifat Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo mi'al chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
And from the bottom of page 161, or if you're in the smaller book, page 43, I offer these words for a good night's sleep. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God, and bring us into the shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapares sukat shalom aleinu, v'al amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. And from page 162, page 44, we offer these words of Vishamru, carving out this time of Shabbat together.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, le'torotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, le'torotam berit olam. Shamayim ve'et ha'aretz ve'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha'Shabbat asod et ha'Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam u'v'yom ha'shivi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Wait for it. Ve'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Keep it going, the melody. I need to hear you guys. Vishamru, Vishamru. Not bad. And ha-Shabbat. Oh, the dorotam berit olam. The doors hum. The dorotam berit olam. The dorotam berit olam.
As we carve out this time of Shabbat together on page 164, we rise for the tefillah for these central prayers of our service.
Adonai sefetai tita ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah. Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Makein, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Ve'at Serah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkei Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Tzomech Noflim Verofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Nichamucha Ba'al Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melech Memnid, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Bene'eman Atah L'Hachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol HaMetim.
HaKadosh Shemcha Kadosh, Ukedoshim B'chol Yom Yechalucha Selah. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. And from our projection, 6 days we speak, tonight we listen. 6 days we build, tonight we rest. 6 days we take care of others, tonight we nurture ourselves. 6 days we work to change our world, tonight we are renewed by what is eternal together. 6 days we plan for the future, tonight we enjoy the present. 6 days we eat and drink in a rush, tonight we enjoy every taste of bread and wine and feel bonded to the world that feeds us. Like 6 days like God we work, tonight on the seventh day like God we rest, reflect, and renew ourselves. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And from the bottom, it's page 57 in the small book, but it's 175 in the large book, and we read responsively. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God,
When doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers.
there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch Atah Adonai, Shodcha Levadcha Bir'ah Na'avod. And from our projection, Hodu Adonai Ki Tov Ki La'olam Chasto. Oh, give thanks to Adonai, for Adonai is good, for God's love is everlasting together. When we say thank you for the blessings of our lives, we feel all of the goodness and kindness of creation. When we find ways of turning our blessings into light and love, to lift up those who cross our paths, our appreciation becomes something greater, infinite, and eternal. Baruch Atah Adonai, HaTov Shimcha Ulcha Na'eh Lahodot. And from the top of page 179, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace and its advocate among the nations, and may contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within our homes. Together, strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, ba'shalom. As we are seated, we take a few moments to offer silent prayers. We've offered these formal prayers of the tefillah out loud, and now we have an opportunity to offer the prayers of our hearts. You may offer these words that are projected to you, or just simply offer the words of your heart.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol hey to the whole she'ah b'shlomecha echa. Sing with me. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Do you want God to grant us peace? Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
So you might have seen that I came forward and I took a little step that way because I was curious about something. there's a rather incredible little piece of Talmud that says, Mishanem makom mishanem mazal, that if you change your place, you change your fortune. It's a really pretty amazing one, especially because there's been a little bit of change place that I've undergone, and Jill has undergone, and our family has undergone in the last, few months or so. Just a little. But it is fascinating as Jeremy and I, it's only 2 Shabbatot. Feels like months. I've only been here for 2 weeks. And it's been a great 2 weeks because earlier I was talking with Pete and he said, well, how do you usually do it? And I said, Pete, I've only been here 1 week. What do you mean usually do it? It was a great moment. But as things are shifting here, I have a little bit of a different screen. So when I turn around, I can actually see the words that are on the projection over here. But what was really pretty incredible is if you take one step this way and you turn around, I'm right the right height. Do you all know what the church across the street is called? Hope. And so there I am offering these words of prayer, and I look up and just right in my field of view. So you have to be 5'7" 3/4, and you have to stand right here, but then you look out and it's like, there's hope right there for me. So I have, now you'll get the Star Wars comment. I have found a new hope. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. But it's one of those things that if you change your perspective just a little, you never know what you are going to see, what you are going to experience. Because if you stand right here, you don't see it. But because I'm navigating a little bit of a different wire, I ended up a foot that way, and suddenly I am seeing something powerful and incredible. How amazing it is to lift my eyes up, right? We have Abraham in Vayera, not in Vayera, in Vayera, when he lifts his eyes and there is the mountain that he's going to offer Isaac, and you have Moses and he lifts up his eyes, and what does he see? A bush that's burning and not consumed. We have all of those moments. So I've lifted my eyes and I have seen hope here at Temple B'nai Israel. So you all asked me what I can do to make this more congregation. I bring some hope to you. So this is the Shabbat of Chukat. And as some of you received a phone call this morning from me, I promised you a little bit about Miriam. If you get a call from an unknown number on Friday, it might be coming from the temple. It's just our automated phone system sending out the message that I have recorded earlier in the day. So please feel free to answer it, or at least just listen to the message, because you'll get all kinds of previews. You never know what nuggets that you will hear. And so this is this Shabbat, and in this Parsha, this Torah portion, is the end of Miriam's life, which is one of those moments of loss and sadness. Miriam, remember, starts with the very beginning of Exodus. Even before Moses is born, there is Miriam. Moses is born. Moses' mother, Yocheved, sends him, of course, in a basket down the river, and Miriam is right there to watch him the whole time until he's picked up by Pharaoh's daughter. And it's Miriam that goes to Pharaoh's daughter and says, "Oh, did you need a Hebrew nursemaid?" And there's a lot of winking there. I have just the woman, and of course brings Moses' mother, who ends up nursing him even as he is growing up in the palace of Pharaoh. From that moment, Miriam has been part of the story. And I was talking with Helene, who said, are we going to sing the Miriam song? I know there is a Miriam by the water one, but there's also Miriam dancing with her timbrels. There's Helene, she's back there. But I did not get it early enough to Jeremy to say we'll sing Miriam and his timbrels. Why do I have a feeling that could be a very big rousing dance number here at Temple B'nai Israel? Miriam, remember, Moses leads them in dancing as soon as they cross the Sea of Reeds, and then Miriam leads the women dancing there by the Sea of Reeds. And there is moment after moment, ups and downs. There are moments of challenge that Miriam is there with the people of Israel as they go on this wandering and this journey going through the wilderness until Parshat Chukat. And we are told that Miriam dies there in the wilderness. And then as soon as Miriam dies, what do the people do? They start kvetching, complaining. Why? They ran out of water. It's hot, it's dry. Do you remember there was water? And there's a lot of very upset. In fact, that place is called, one of the things is called Meribah. It's like a place of bitter waters. There is, and the rabbis say, aha. Why do they start complaining about water? One of the things we're learning about our system, that if the slides go to sleep, then it'll just, we'll figure it out. I'm not too worried. That if the people started complaining about water as soon as Miriam dies, that must mean that Miriam was connected to the source of water. And they then deduce that there must have been a well or a spring. And remember, they're not in one place. It's not like, oh, that's Miriam's spring over there. What it meant was every time they stopped, Miriam's fountain of water, of spring of water, rose up anew in camp, connected to her. That it was for her sake, for the act that she did protecting her brother, for what she had did helping the people of Israel. Because of Miriam, they had a constant, steady supply of water for the community as they walked on and on. And some of you might have been at Passover Seders, raise your hand if you've been at Passover Seder where you have done a ritual of Miriam's cup with water. This is the source of it. And I will tell you, it was one of the most incredible experiences. Somebody asked me earlier if I have done weddings for kids I have done bar and bat mitzvah with. I was starting to do that in Vero Beach. But one of the last weddings I did, the sisters, he had twin sisters, Kim and Lara, and their parents asked me, it was this Torah portion, they asked me to do a Miriam's cup ritual. And there I was on the pulpit at Beth Shalom in Vero Beach, and it was my second or third year there, and I'm doing this Kos Miriam, and we're doing this ritual of water, and it starts raining outside. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, get this, it starts dripping because the roof started leaking, but not over there. Not over there, right on the bima, right in front of me, as I am doing a water ritual. I'm just saying. And Jill will tell you multiple times, it was really dry. I said prayers for rain, and then it started to rain. Will you? Reluctantly. I don't know that I can do that, but it was a really cool experience, a coincidence a whole lot of times. So water is powerful, right? We know that if there isn't enough rain in the land of Israel, there isn't enough food. We see here in the wilderness that if they don't have water, how painful and difficult and challenging it is for the people of Israel as they are going through the wilderness. And here is Miriam, and it's for her sake that the people have water in that place. And so there are now water rituals. There is a Kos Miriam people do at Passover. We recall her as we appreciate water so often in our tradition. This is really powerful to see in that Torah portion, but it's also really powerful to see that same act happen in a synagogue in a community. Last year I taught the 4th through 6th graders, and we were doing a unit on the life cycle. And where do you want to take, if you're doing the life cycle, where do you want to take 4th through 6th graders to show them the proper parts of the life cycle? The cemetery. Okay? I took them on a tour of the cemetery, and some of their parents who took them with us did not even know we had a Jewish cemetery in the area, and that got them connected. And some of our founders of our congregation, the Block family, Sam Block from Beth Shalom came and was talking about his family and talking about the establishment of the cemetery and just giving a tour and connecting the kids in that place. A few weeks later, We were in the sanctuary for Hebrew school. We had midweek Hebrew school, and it was a Wednesday afternoon. We're getting ready for our service that we do, our assembly service that we do. And one of the kids says, "Hey, is that the same Mr. Block?" And we're like, "He's not here. What are you talking about?" Do you know where he pointed? He pointed at the memorial board. Because the memorial board had been donated by Sam's parents to honor their parents and grandparents, and was a key part of our congregation. And because they had met him in the cemetery and they remembered him, there we were in the synagogue, and they saw the memorial board, they saw the name in the memorial board, and they made that connection across time and space. They saw that object and they said, "Oh, that's because of the efforts of the sake of that family that we have that act of memory." It was an amazing moment of connection. I had no idea that the kids, and it was just one of our 8 or 9-year-olds making that incredible connection in that moment. And so I share that story with you, and I share about Miriam because there are a lot of names around this building. I've been hearing them and seeing them since I arrived. And that to me is the incredible challenge as we talk about this fount of water, the spring of water that was for the sake of Miriam, and that every time we think of that, the people of Israel and their journey through the wilderness and having water, we think of Miriam. As I was in that moment with the cemetery and seeing the yahrzeit board to remember it was the efforts of the Block family in that place, think about the number of people that have made that kind of impression here. Whether it is here in this building and on this campus or all around Vero Beach. I've heard stories of the Federation, of the Holocaust Museum, of all sorts of incredible places of Jewish life and Jewish value. I think even somebody was telling me, I don't know if it was you, Sandy, or somebody else that volunteered, that it was either hospice, Sandy told me that hospice had been started by members of TBI, right? And so I offer to you two challenges, two pieces of challenge on this Shabbat. One, like the people of Israel, they didn't stop and say, "Oh, wow, this is because of Miriam. They were just fetching about the water." But we have a chance to open our eyes, open our senses, open our curiosity, look for the names. Whether it's the yahrzeit plaques that are lit on a given Shabbat, or it's the plaques by a wall, or it's the plaques by the rabbi's office, or the plaques even as you walk into this sanctuary. Start looking for the names. And the second is, don't just see the name. That was what was so amazing about what that child did, what our student did. He didn't just hear a name, see, oh, there's a guy. He made that connection between a name and a person and brought it to life. Like the Torah is two-dimensional, it's flat. Until you read it, until you bring your voice and lift that story off the page. He took that memorial plaque that was there and lifted it off the page so it became a real conversation about real people who had made a real impact. I know I'm not the only one that needs to learn and remember and honor, feel the kavod, the gravity of the names of the people and the stories of the people who built this building and built this community so that we can bring real shalom into this time and into this space and into this community. And so on this Shabbat, as we honor Miriam and the way she brought water to our community so many generations ago, let us open our eyes and open our curiosity to see and think about, to feel the weight and hear the stories of the people who built this place of Temple B'nai Israel. As I say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. And now here comes a real moment of rabbinic challenge. Do you remember the days before Zoom? Do you remember the days before the pandemic when you could just use a prayer book? So you do get bonus points. You do get bonus points if you know where that is. Can anyone identify that location? Not anymore. I have no idea. That's just what. If I'm getting applause for that, isn't it good that the rabbi knows how to use the computer? As I share those words of Torah, we also take a moment to do words of healing. That even as we are together on this Shabbat, we know there are members of our congregation and community who are sick in need of healing and comfort. And so first, it's on page 371 of the large book, or 253 of the small book. We offer this first part of these words of healing.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
And so on this Shabbat, and I'll give you an opportunity in just a moment if there's others you would like to acknowledge for prayer of healing and comfort. On this Shabbat, I acknowledge Melissa Brahm, Barbara Breslow, Frankie Clement, Ann Cole, Mickey Edelstein, Mark Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, Brian Edelstein, Eric Fisk, Gideon Jacob Fisher, Harriet Kaplan, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Emma Martinez, Tony Rindy, Stephen Schatz, Lee Siegel, Stacy Siegel, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Kevin Stone, Pete Tanner, Fred Truax, Joshua Weinberg, and Marcia Sperber. Are there others you would like to acknowledge for a prayer of healing and comfort? And I'll just start over here, and if you raise your hand, and we'll just kind of go back as we go. We think of them in all. We think of them and all of those who are in need of healing and comfort as we offer these words of healing.
Bless those in need of healing with Ruach Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
I know that we are going to offer announcements, but I don't remember who was offering them. Denise is offering them. And so we welcome Denise Kirschbaum to share some announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's really, really nice to see so many people here tonight. Makes my heart feel good. Of course, I know you've picked up the program tonight. Make sure you read what's on the back of it because it has all of the important things coming up. But I would like to remind you that WTBI Eats Around the World is taking place on Wednesday, July 17th at 6 o'clock. We're going to be eating at the Asian Pearl restaurant, and you need to either text Andrea or email her or call her to let her know that you're coming so we know how many people to make a reservation for. And another thing I'd like to bring to your attention, on September 8th, Sisterhood will be having a paid-up membership lunchering honoring our own Jill Bernholz, and so you'll hear more about it soon. Next Friday night's dinner is going to be soup and salad, and it'll be sponsored by the Friendship Club. Tonight's challah was also sponsored by the Friendship Club. And if you are new to us or you're new-ish to us, feel free to contact Andrea. Andrea, where are you? Raise your hand. Or me, I'm a past president, or any one of the friendly faces you see here, and we'll help you get acquainted and help you figure out what the next steps are. I would like to thank the office staff because I heard that they were instrumental in setting up the pizza and salad dinner we had tonight, which was really, really nice, so thank you. Jeremy, what a pleasure. I'm so excited about getting to sing with Jeremy, and I heard that he's interested in having our choir start again. Yay, I'm really, really pleased.
And Denise, really quick, I'm just gonna jump in really quick because I know you're a great liaison to that, but a lot of people have been asking me about that. I'm super excited about getting our vocal music program up and running, our youth music program up and running, and yes, an instrumental music program running. So I am very enthusiastic, obviously, about music here at TBI, and I know that music has been part of this culture for many, many, many decades, and I'm honored to be a part of the group that is taking the leadership of the music department now. So I just wanted to step in because I'm thankful to what you've been doing all these years to help us with that, and I will be in contact with you. So if you are interested, we will be getting in contact with you soon, and I will look forward to meeting you all. I'm out.
Thank you, Jeremy. And Rabbi, thank you so much for this service. I did watch last week on YouTube because I was in New York, and I enjoyed every moment of it. Welcome. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
We begin the conclusion of our service with Elena, which is on page 586 or 282. I do ask you all to please rise. V'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim kadosh baruch hu.
ya Adonai,
Melech haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, hu shemo echad.
We pause to honor and remember from wildfires to floods, wars to pandemic, there are many who have died, leaving families and communities broken. We pause to offer silence as an act of presence in the face of these unexpected traumas in our lives. On this Shabbat, we acknowledge these members of our congregation and community who have died in this season in years past: Raymond Levine, Marcia Altschuler, Harold Arzarva, Harry Bellick, Raphael Borelli, Louis Brodney, Gilbert Budd, Charles Burdash, Jack Leon Cantor, Herman Karp, Mike Cohen, Lena K. Cohen, Herb Cowan, Robert Daniels, Helen F. Fredenberg, Leo Fuchs, Roger W. Jessiman, Beatrice G. Katzman, Florence Kleinman, Herbert Burt Kraus, Arthur Lassers, Jack M. Levin, Diane Lynn, Jack Machbitz, Irving Matness, Carola M. Mayer, Ida Michaels, Minnie Miller, Terry Moore, Rose Namath, Gail Noodleman, Helen Popkin, Harry Raymond, Edwin Ross, Herman Rothschild, Catherine S. Rothstein, Jacob Sapphire, Mildred Schweitzer, Jean Shallett, Teresa Spitzer, Deanne Swanson, and Ann Wolfson. Are there any other yard sites to be observed on this Shabbat? We also acknowledge those who have died in this past year: Marty Bialo, Dee Dee Lynn, Rick Myers, Iris Fisk, Brent Joseph Miller, Bruce Epstein, Rosalind Beam, Herb Walowick, Ruth Poller, Philip Burt Gelman, Diane Walensky, Myrna Katz, Hank Corin, Gary Ginsberg, Jeff Petracco, and we acknowledge the recent passing of Mark Graber. They are with us in our acts of memory. They are with us in our words of praise as we offer these words of Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal, the Yitkada, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma divrach Rute, V'yamlich malchute, B'chayechon u'vyomechon, U'chayedechol Be Israel, Bagala u'vizman kari v'imru, Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kudesha Brechu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma v'yimru Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim alhenu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are saying goodbye to someone they love, as we say Amen, as we are seated. And before I call the young people up to help with Hamotzi, to help with that moment of celebration, and to turn us from prayer to food, we close our service with these words of Olam Chesed Yibaneh, thinking about how we can always find ways of building our world with chesed, with loving kindness.
chesed yibaneh. Lai lai da 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 da. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. Olam chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. I will build this world from love. Ya da 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 da. And you must build this world from love. Ya da 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 da. And if we build this world from love, ya da 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 da, then God will build this world from love. Ya da 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 da. Olam Chesed. Olam Chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. Olam Chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. Olam Chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da. Olam Chesed yibaneh. Ya da 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 da.
These words are not projected for you. I ask you just to hear them and take them to heart. Let Shabbat be a time for believing in what could be and seeing with new eyes. In this serious world, let us take ourselves less seriously. In these harsh times, let us listen for the soothing word. While the world unfolds around us in an instant, let us judge each other a little more slowly. Let Shabbat shine a light into a corner of ourselves where hope is renewed. Let us remember a reason to be joyful and a way to be gentle. Let Shabbat be a time for opening up. Let us find strength in our dreams and trust in our strength. Adonai oz li'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Let God give us courage and patience and strength to be a community together to build this as a world of chesed, of kindness, and a world of shalom, of wholeness, harmony, and peace. Amen. Amen. Shabbat shalom. And now I invite the young people from our congregation forward to help with Hamotzi and lead us to the Oneg Shabbat. Come on over here, Lily. Okay, everybody's going to put a hand under the tray. We're all going to hold the tray together. Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Avon, which means have a good appetite. And now Jeremy and I are going to lead us out, and these young ladies and friends are going to have some challah, and then we're going to have it in the Oneg Shabbat. If you can believe I'm saying this all with one voice. Are you ready to leave the sanctuary? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat.